5 years down the line or later, depending upon the kind of conditions, it is necessary for you to understand how the future is going to look like. The second, you need to know about what are the possible careers that are going to be present or that are going to be available at that point of time when you graduate. Next, which program of study needs to be taken? Though within law there are multiple programs of study, which one to be selected so that you are comfortable pursuing that program of study. The last thing that you need to know is the university or the institution where you need to pursue this program of study. I mentioned 4 important factors. All the 4 factors are interrelated, are interdependent, and interconnected. Let's spend some time or few minutes on the future. Future appears to be much more dynamic, much more different from what we see today. One of the things that has been predicted of the future is that the existing jobs will be replaced by automated systems going forward. Meaning new jobs get created. The new jobs will be much more than the jobs that we see today. That's one prediction we made as the future is concerned. The second prediction that we made of the future is that everything in the future will have some technology component. Therefore, knowledge of technology becomes very critical and very important. Hence, reskilling, upskilling, and transformation learning becomes very important for the future. Coming to legal profession of the future, the legal profession is the most prestigious profession in the future. Second, the opportunities will continue to be on the rise for the legal professionals in the future. That is the kind of prediction that we made. Second aspect, the career path. When you talk of career path, there are multiple career paths that are possible as a legal professional. It may vary from a corporate to government to litigation to judiciary. This is how the variation that we're going to see. Each one of them offer abundant number of opportunities. Coming to the program study, you decide which one you feel is the career of your choice, is your dream career. You need to make a list of that. If you don't have that particular list ready, you put down all the possible things and choose one by one based on your passion and based on your talent. What talent do they have? The third aspect is the program study. When you think of program study, within legal profession, you have program like BA LLB, then BBA LLB, BCom LLB, BSc LLB, then BTech LLB. These kinds of options are going to exist. You can also have a bachelor's degree, then followed by LLB program. Therefore, there are multiple programs of study that are possible. You need to decide which program of study is the program of study you need to pursue based on the background that you have, based on the interest that you have. Therefore, the program of study also matters a lot because that program of study must give you the career path that you have in mind to succeed in the environment which I mentioned, the future environment. Therefore, they are interrelated. The last one is the institution. Institution which you need to choose to do that program of study must be an institution which has understood the market quite well. Thereby, the curriculum that it is going to be designed by this institution must be contextually relevant. It needs to have a curriculum which is needed for the present day, which has to have the technology component in it. Thereby, you can succeed in the future environments. The second, this particular institute or the university must provide you the flexibility in learning, flexibility of doing the courses. Why that flexibility? Because you can do a program study with a minor and a major. You can do one major program and a minor as well. Any institute which is going to provide that, a university that provides that, is the university which you need to select. And you also need to choose a university which is ready to experiment, which is ready to try out, which is ready to offer you multiple pathways. Therefore, you need to make a right choice of selecting the right institute to pursue that program study, to get into that career path, and to succeed in the new work environment which I have mentioned. I'm sure these are the kind of things that you need to do. All that you need to do is to make a list of each one of them, the institute and the program study. What's your first choice, second choice, third choice? Thereby, you will be able to look up the choices one after the after, depending upon your preference. I'm extremely happy to tell you that Dayanand Sagar University offers all the things that I mentioned with regard to the university and also the program study I mentioned. If you happen to decide and join Dayanand Sagar University, we will be more happy to help you out to pursue your career. And with this, I thank the organizers for giving me an opportunity to be with you this afternoon. I'll request Professor Nandimat to take over, tell us in detail about the new age careers in law. Over to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. And I just would like to thank the organizers again for giving me this wonderful opportunity to speak to those youngsters who have already made some sort of a career choice. And I'm given to understand, or at least I myself understand, that all of you have really thought you can be lawyers of the future. Well, I can't agree with Professor Murthy more when he said the future is going to be quite different than what it appears today. See, this is, sort of a perfect statement. Whether you are talking of law, you are talking of chartered accountancy, you are talking of any other, let's say, profession today. So for us also, this is going to be a changed environment when you would enter the market or you would enter the industry or when you enter the real world. What is it going to be? And how this drastic change needs to be factored in while choosing your program of study as well as institution of study. Already, I am so obliged to Professor Murthy that he had given you some kind of a formula. He said, first try to select which program you needed to do. Then you try to really see the institution. And while seeing the institution or trying to shortlist the institution, you try to see some of the factors like flexibility, how innovative they are with regard to their content provisioning, etc. But I would try to confine myself in given 15 or 20 minutes of time as to how the future is going to drastically change. Well, for that, I would like to say, my dear friends, when I actually opted to, study law, I'm talking about 1991, when I had to make my decision, I had only one choice. Once I have decided that I'm going to be a lawyer, there was absolutely no problem. I was very clear I had to go to, a law school. But today, you have a different sort of a landscape. Once you have decided to study law, you need to decide whether you need to study BA LLB, BBA LLB, BSc LLB, because there are many streams that are available to you. Is it not? And when I decided to become a lawyer, I'm talking about 1991 when I joined my first degree of 3-year law program. I really knew that I probably end up in a courtroom because a lawyer would wear the robe and he would start what is called as practicing. For our conversation, my dear friends, I always refer to it as court-centric approach. That is, you would either talk about court, you or talk about law. That is what the practicing lawyers today do. And to some extent, I also was very clear that when I become a lawyer, other avenues like becoming a judge or trying to become a legal advisor to some of the companies would also be possible. That is what I was very, very clear. But today, if you see, the world has changed and transformed. That is what I would say, the industrial world. For your benefit, my dear friends, I would say industrial world, I would mean when the big gigantic industry or factory system of production came into existence, it actually challenged the entire paradigm of law. That is what we call as industrial revolution, about which you must have studied already. And that industrial revolution led to factory system of provisioning of legal services also. That is where you had law associates, law firms, etc. came up. And I'm sure most of you may be aspiring to join some of the law firms as well. Is it not? There is no doubt about it. So that is a changed paradigm I could able to see when I entered the real world myself after completing my graduation. But these situations are going to really change. What is that, which is going to change? I would say the court-centric career paths are becoming one among the millions of options that are available to you. What do I mean by that? See, no more you needed to really say that you have to be only confining yourself to the courtroom or court-centric legal practice. There is way ahead you can do. There is far more meaningful way you can engage even in non-court-centric career paths. I would probably explain what does it mean as I go along. Many legal services will be morphed into products and many others will be automated. This is what Professor Murthy was also very clearly and categorically touching upon. If you remember him saying, look, technology has transformed the way we live today. For everything you have technology, and technology has so deep rooted in our day-to-day affairs. Without technology, we cannot possibly survive. So the technology is going to reduce most of your so-called legal services also into technical products. Let me give an example. If you take a typical lawyer working in some small town, he may be doing some sort of a service by writing and registering wills of the people. You know what is will is, right? So if you wanted to have your property bequeathed to your near and dear ones after your death, you would write a will. So he may be earning by writing about 100 wills in a month, let us say. Tomorrow, you will not have that lawyer any job because the products would really determine the technological products. That means you need to just download the app and go into that application. It would start asking some, questions, pre-framed questions, and you put all the details. It would give you the format of the will automatically. So what is required? You need to take a printout and get it registered. or probably the advanced kind of a models would allow you to instantaneously register your will, then and there itself in a blockchain model. So I hope you are getting my point, what I'm trying to say. I don't know how many of you have ever tried, but if you ask some of your, elderly friends, they would say, today I can start a company without moving out of my, room. Very much on my working desk, I can incorporate a company because Ministry of Corporate Affairs has already, converted their entire process on, brought their entire process of incorporation onto the technological platform. So this is going to be another very, very important change you can expect. So with this, many legal jobs will be erased, but more new jobs will be created. It is not that lawyers are going to be endangered species. Don't think that way. Oh, whether I have made a good choice of becoming a lawyer in this kind of a, discourse, I don't really think you need not. I don't think there is any need for you to be worried. Old jobs will go, but new jobs which require different type of skill sets would come up. Different skill sets like business basics, tech proficiency will become necessary skills. What I mean, I'll just tell you what is meant by business basics. You would end up advising more and more the big corporations. So you needed to know not only law, you needed to know bit about what you call as business processes. What is meant by business processes? How business processes are put into place. All these, basic understanding would help you to shape yourself as a better lawyer. Professor Murthy already emphasized a lawyer is necessarily to have some kind of technological proficiency, without which he would be handicapped. So it is not just the law. You, in addition to law, you need to hone your technical skills as well. A new brand of lawyers, my dear friends, I just would like to say, known as transnational lawyers would emerge. That means a lawyer who is relevant in multiple jurisdictions. So there is no more you can afford to say, oh, I'm a official lawyer practicing in X city, Y city, Z city. I do not know how many of you know, today, sitting here very much in my place, from my work desk, wherever you may be sitting, I can appear before any of the tribunals in India. And soon, Supreme Court and High Courts are going to adopt that kind of a model. It is only a question of time. But I am 100% sure, my friends, by the time you enter the market, this kind of facility would have come. So you may be, no matter where you are settled, where you are working out, but you can even appear instantaneously before any of the high courts in India or Supreme Court also. So these geographical barriers are going to got erased, will be getting erased. And transnational lawyers will go beyond even Indian territory, and they become, sort of relevant for multiple nations. So that is why you have oceans and oceans of what you call as prospectus. And your preparation has already begun, and you need to continue that preparation till you enter the real world through the portals of your law school. That is why, while choosing the law school, you got to be very, very careful and see whether that law school provides you that kind of an opportunity, that kind of exposure, and whether that law school holds that kind of vision for itself. Otherwise, what happens? You would start feeling fish out of the water. Right? And new age lawyer, just to say in very, very, very few words, I would say the new age lawyer should be agile, should be multidisciplinary, and highly tech enabled. This is not what I am saying. This is what the current recently published Harvard study actually explains. The new age lawyer, according to them, would be agile, multidisciplinary, and highly technically enabled. And whenever time provides you some, whenever you are provided with some time, or time provides you the facility, please look into Axiom, LegalZoom, Rocket Lawyer, etc. websites. I'm sure some of you must have heard or noted about them. That will give you clear-cut idea as to how the future is going to be very challenging and different from what it looks today. So you have, again, I would say, tons and tons of activities. But before I actually, stop by handing over the baton to Professor Murthy, I just would like to say, whenever I talk to youngsters like this, some of the extrovert, youngsters come back to me and say, sir, you are talking of some change which might happen during my old age. Because we all are not that receptive to change, as you know. So we all think the stereotyped influence we have on our mind is, oh, these things will take a lot of time to change. But it is not what you can expect during your, old age or after 10 years. It is going to happen in just about 5 to 6 years. If you permit me to quote a general counsel of a leading United Kingdom company, in one of the forum, he said, incrementalism is dead. There is no more nibbling around the edges of change. We are experiencing a paradigm shift, and it will happen faster than people think. I know because I am living it every single day of my life, he said. So this change is real. This change is about to hit all of us. So whether we would change our attitude and be prepared to embrace change and grow further is what is the question which you needed to ask yourself. That is why, once again, I repeat what Professor Murthy started by saying, you need to be extremely careful and diligent in making your choice with regard to, program as well as the institution. With this, I would hand over the baton to Dr. Murthy. But before that, once again, I thank the organizers for having such an wonderful event organized and giving me the opportunity. Thank you very much. Over to you, Murthy sir.
Madam Pallavi, you can take over.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for such an insightful session. I'm sure they must have got a clarity on the subjects and the career prospects as well. We are open for the question answers, students. If you have any questions, we would be happy to address. So there is one question, so basically from many of the aspirants, we always used to get it, that what is the difference between BA LLB, BBA LLB, BCom LLB, or a BSc? And also adding to that, honors subject, what difference does it make, the honors?
Okay, can I take that question, Pallavi?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. See, I even earlier also in several occasions, I have touched upon this. It is one of the frequently asked questions or frequently, encountered question by our youngsters. Look, when I was a student, as I said, we had only one stream of law study. That is, you do your basic degree and after that you do your law. That means purely we would have studied law. But now the new thinking that started with my institution, that is National Law School of India University, innovated this. They innovated a 5-year program. 5-year program means after 10+2, a student would be taken into an integrated program, and along with law, he would be allowed to learn some other, humanities or social science subjects. Like we started experimenting with political science, economics, history, and sociology. Because we thought they are the most nearest subjects whereby a student can contextualize his legal studies. And later on, this experiment continued by some of the pioneers from National Law School itself. And they said, why confine it to only some humanities subject? Why can't we expand the offering? That is where they also started talking about BBA, where commerce subject and business study subjects would be taught. And they also said BSc LLB. See how it is important. See, it is important at 3 levels, I would say. First, at the level of your law study, it is important to contextualize your legal study. See, when you study law, you can able to develop better insight and better contextual understanding by studying these subjects. And number 2, it is helpful in case you want to specialize further in one branch of law. Like one who has studied law can probably, law along with, business studies like BBA, LLB, can able to, help business firms or corporates in a better way because he understands how business processes work. Similarly, a student who has done BSc LLB would able to, cater to find legal solutions for some of the technological problems. So that is a second level of what you call as advantage he has. But the third very important point of advantage is he can, with this kind of multidisciplinary approach, he can independently start studying other allied and related subjects so that he can contextualize the law in which he is intending to specialize, which he has not studied during his law school days. I hope I have answered the question.
Thank you, sir. Any more questions? Okay, so we are done, sir. So we are proceeding further. Thank you, students. If you have any questions related to the admission process, applications, or you would like to have an interaction with the faculty, one-on-one sessions, we are happy to address. You can always call on our website number, the helpline number, and also you can send in an official email to us. Thank you, sir. We would like to end our session here. Thank you for all the information that you have provided. I'm sure the students must have been benefited for it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Pallavi, and thank you, everybody. Thank you, Murthy, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.